So tell us about your background.
Well, I started in permanent makeup about 18 years ago, and probably about 3 years into my permanent makeup career, I got a little disheartened with it, with the pigments and machines and products and tools that were offered, and I was super curious about body tattooing, so I found a shop and here that would apprentice me. And so I entered, got the apprenticeship, and I was there for about 2 years. And I guess during that apprenticeship is where I learned to whip shade and color blend and needles and all that stuff. And once I learned that and applied it to my body tattoos, I started applying that to my makeup, my eyebrows, my eyeliners, and just saw my permanent makeup procedures get so much better quickly. So stayed in permanent makeup and did both for a long time.
What permanent makeup procedures do you do?
I do, well, for many, many years, I did all of them. That was my, I did eyebrows, eyeliner, lips, areola, 3D areola, and nipple restoration, camouflaging, scalp. I did it all. I wanted to learn it all and be in it all. And then over the years, I would say now, I dropped scalp work, a little bit tedious for me. I stopped doing camo work. So now primarily eyebrows, eyeliner, lips, areolas. Yeah.
How did you start working with TATSoul?
Well, with TATSoul, so in my body tattoo apprenticeship, it was an old school shop, and I was taught to make my own needles. It was a shop that made their own needles. So I was making my own needles for quite some time, maybe 4 or 5 years, and then I personally just got so busy, I had to stop making them. So started buying needles from different popular brands and eye looping them. I just wasn't happy. They weren't meeting my, being a needle maker, I guess my standards were super high, and they just weren't meeting my standards. Besides the fact 15 or 20 needles in a box of 50 sometimes were damaged, burred, bent, damaged. And so my favorite tattooer back in the day, Mike DeVise, am I saying his name right? Followed him, super fascinated with his work. He had mentioned TATSoul, and just so happens the following week I'm at a tattoo convention here in town, and there's a TATSoul booth, and so I went over there, met the staff, and got into about an hour-long conversation about needles. They sent me home with a couple boxes, started eye looping, tattooing with them, and that was it for me. That was my needle, and it's been my needle ever since, probably the last 8 years, yeah.
So permanent makeup was an obvious next step for you as far as working with TATSoul.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I started using all their needles for all my permanent makeup work, buying, their machines, their foot pedals, their, everything. I figured if their needles are this good, then let's check out some of their other products. And so I always found everything I've ever used or bought from TATSoul was of super high quality and met my standards. So I've been a huge, TATSoul fan for, all these years.
What excites you about permanent makeup, about the industry?
What excites me? So many things. I guess first and foremost, that instant gratification. Like someone comes in with no eyebrows, and you put a pair of eyebrows on them, instantly you took 10 years off them. People that have MS, that can't draw their eyebrows anymore. Cancer survivors that have lost their breasts to cancer and don't have, areolas and nipples anymore. I get to tattoo them. So I think it's that gratification of helping women and making their lives better, easier. Sometimes it's downright emotional. You're actually really changing lives with some of the work we get to do. And other times it's just you're giving a woman, back an hour a day. It's a thing of convenience. But so many other times it is actually a profound difference you made in a woman's life. So that's first and foremost for me.
For the benefit of our audience, talk a little bit about what micropigmentation is.
Micropigmentation is just probably a fancy conservative term for cosmetic tattooing, to be quite honest with you. You're talking 20, 30, especially 30 years ago, 20 years ago, we didn't say the word tattoo in the permanent makeup industry. It was like a taboo word. I never could understand that. So yeah, so they, you know, a lot of people, some of these veterans, they start calling it micropigmentation. And there's some other terminologies out there that that's comfortable for the conservative woman to hear. But quite frankly, it is tattooing. We're just doing cosmetic work.
What's the difference between microblading and permanent makeup?
So the difference is really microblading. They're doing hair strokes. You know, it's eyebrow work. They're doing hair strokes, but they're using a manual tool, and they're doing hair strokes. So it's manual based. With permanent makeup, we're using machines. Traditional permanent makeup work, we're doing machines. So if you did like a microbladed eyebrow and an eyebrow with a machine and a single needle, and they were both done beautifully, the public wouldn't know. They wouldn't know which one was done manually, which one was microblading, and which one was done with a machine. They just wouldn't know.
Do you ever have customers address the issue of safety in the pigments?
Every now and then, probably not as much as they should. Yeah, yeah. I mean, not too much from the public do we get asked that. What I find nowadays, it's more the artist, you know, the technician, the industry. The industry's gotten more geared more towards that, asking the questions about, you know, pigments, the safety of pigments. Are they tested? You know, things like that. But not so much the public still. Yeah.
What if somebody doesn't like it? Have you had that happen?
I wouldn't be 100% truthful if I didn't say yes, I have had that happen, but thank goodness it was very early on in my career. You know, but I think that happens to all of us. You know, early in your career, you're honing your skills, you're finding your way. So I've had eyebrows heal a little bit too dark. You know, I've had some things happen very early on in my career, but now the last probably 10 years, no, I really haven't dealt with that with my own work.
What's your most popular procedure?
Eyebrows. But eyeliner's a close second. Yeah, so if you do someone's eyebrows and they love them, and of course they all do when they come here, but then I would say 90% of the time you're gonna do their eyeliner. They're gonna want their eyeliner.
Do you have a dream project?
Do I have a dream project? Well, I do, but I can't talk about it on camera yet. It's in the works. Well, let me tell you this. I had three dream projects. One was to open up a studio, my own studio, and have kick-ass artists under me, and I did that. Got great artists, Amber, Sean, Sandra, give them all a shout out. They're the bomb. My team here, Kat, Rhea, Ashley, it's just great. So that was dream number one done. Dream number two was to launch my own product line. And I got to do that. I teamed up with Bill Gerber of Aftering and one of my best friends, Will Anthony. We launched Skinful Beauty. And so I got that going. And then the third, that's in the works, and I'll be announcing that soon.